Today we're going to review how to solve problems involving two circle Venn diagrams, and then I'm going to show you how to solve them with three circles. So here is a question you've seen before where there are two circles. In a class, there are 8 students who play football and hockey, 7 students who do not play football or hockey, 13 students who play hockey, 19 students who play football, and the question is asking how many students are there in the class. So there's 4 sections involved when dealing with two Venn diagrams. One Venn diagram with two circles. There's section 1, section 2, section 3, and the outside, which is section 4. So what most people do is they start with the number on the inside and then they work their way out. So in section 2, this is the overlap of football and hockey. So in here are the people that play football and hockey. So that would be 8. So there's 8 people that go in section 2. Now you start working your way out here. Section number 1 involves this section here, just this crescent section. So that would be the people who play football but do not play hockey. So it says 19 people play football. So 19 people would be the full football circle, because some of those 19 people also play hockey. So section 1 are just the people that play football only. So what you would have to do is subtract the 8 people who play hockey as well, and that gives you 11. So what it's saying here is 11 people play football only, 8 people play football and hockey, which in total, 8 plus 11 gives you the whole football circle, gives you the 19 people who play football. So a lot of people will just write 19 in this section, but you have to remember to subtract that 8. For the hockey, section 3 is hockey only. So if there are 13 people who play hockey, the entire hockey circle has to be 18. So to get section 3, which is hockey only, you have to subtract the 8 to give you 5. So this is saying section 3, hockey only is 5, plus the people who play hockey and football gives you a total of 13 people that play hockey. Section 4 is on the outside, and those are people that don't play either, because it's not inside either circle. So that are these 7 people here. Then to find out how many students are in the class, you take the football only people, the hockey only people, the people who play both, and the people who play neither, and just add them together. And that would give you 31 students. So the key is making sure you don't just write 13 in this circle, in this section. You have to subtract the 8 because the entire circle has to add up to 13. And this entire circle has to add up to 19. So you always have to subtract that overlap. So that's a Venn diagram question that you're used to. Now we're going to move on to a 3-circle Venn diagram question. And the 3 circles look like this. So a survey of 39 guests on the Jerry Springer Show revealed the following: 10 punch, 18 curse, 19 make obscene gestures, 3 punch and curse and gesture, 12 curse, I should say but don't punch and don't gesture, 4 curse and gesture, 4 punch and gesture but don't curse. How many guests are nicely behaved and don't do any of those things? Now with a three-circle Venn diagram, you have a lot more sections. So the sections are as follows. You have section 1, which is people that punch only. So it's not the entire punch circle. It's just this section, not including these. These are people that punch only. Section 2 is just this section here. These are people that punch and curse, but it doesn't go into gesture, so they don't gesture. Section 3 are people that curse only. Section 4 are people that punch and gesture but don't curse. So it's just this section here, right there. Section 5 is the overlap of all three, so these are people that do all three things. Section 6 are people that curse and gesture but don't punch. So it's only this section here. Section 7 are people that gesture only. And section 8 is on the outside, so these are people that do none of the following. So once again, you want to work your way inside out. So we want to start here with section 5. So it says here, 3 people punch and curse and gesture. So 3 goes in section 5. So start in the middle if you can. The next thing you want to do are these 3 sections. So take a look at some of these here. So you don't have to necessarily go in order. It says here, 4 people curse and gesture. Now, this is where you have to be careful, like the two circle diagram. Curse and gesture is all of this section right there. It's the complete overlap between cursing and gesture. So all of that has to equal 4. So if there's already a 3 here, then this has to be 4 minus 3, which is 1. So again, curse and gesture is this entire section here. All of that is curse and gesture. So all of that has to equal 4. So if this is already 3, then this would only be 1. So that means that 3 people do all 3. 1 person curses and gestures but doesn't punch. So the 2 of them together make 4. And that's where you have to be really careful when you're reading. Now, this 4 here says they punch and gesture but don't curse. So that is just section 4. So this is 4. In this case, you do not subtract the 3 because they punch and gesture but don't curse. So punch and gesture but don't curse is just this section. So it does not include the 3 because it says they do not curse. So just this section is equal to 4. So in this case, you do not subtract the 3. So the big difference is this one says curse and gesture, so it includes both of these parts, but this part says but don't curse. So that's why this part is not included in that 4. So you have to be careful about that wording. Here it says that 12 curse but don't punch and don't gesture. That is just section 3. So that is 12. So the curse but don't punch and don't gesture is just this section here. So this is the curse, but you can't come into the punch circle and you can't come into the gesture circle. So because it's curse but don't punch and don't gesture, the 12 is just section 3. So the reading of the question is, or of these sections, are so important. And the order that these are filled out, there's no real order. It just depends on how much information you're given. So for instance, if we look at 10 people punch, so 10 people punch, that's the entire circle, but we're missing 2 pieces of information. So we can't do anything with that 10 yet. But it says here that 19 people make obscene gestures. So it's just saying obscene gestures, so that includes this entire circle. So this section here, 7, which is gesture only, would be 19, but then you'd have to subtract the 4 from there, and the 3 from there, and the 1 from there, and that would give you 11. So the 19 people that make obscene gestures is the entire gesture circle. So 11 plus 4 plus 3 plus 1, all of those are in the gesture circle and they total to make 19. All right, 18 people curse, so that's the entire cursing circle. And there's only one section left. So since the entire circle has to add up to 18, this section would be 18 minus 12 minus 3 minus 1. So take away the 12, take away the 1, take away the 3, and that gives you 2. So now you can see that 18 people curse, so the entire curse circle is made up of 12 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1, and that's where the 18 comes from. Now, lastly, 10 people punch. So all of the punch circle has to equal 10. So this section here, which is punch only, you have to subtract the 2, subtract the 3, and subtract the 4, and that makes 1. So that means one person only punches. So for the 10 people that punch, the entire punch circle needs to make 10. So 1 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, that makes 10. So the question is asking how many guests are nicely behaved and don't do any of those things. So that's question 8, or section 8. So we know that there's 39 guests in total. So if we take away all of these numbers, these are all numbers of people that are doing bad things, we will be left with the people that are nicely behaved. So we're going to take 39 and we're going to subtract the numbers from each section. Subtract 1, subtract 2, subtract 12, 4, 3, 1, and 11. So that's sections 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that will leave you with section 8. And that makes 5 people. So what makes these Venn diagram questions confusing is Sometimes you get a number and you have to subtract something that it's been overlapped, like here, 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 and here. But then sometimes you get a number and you don't have to subtract things. So that's here and here. And it all comes from the words here. They don't gesture. So if they don't do something, then, and they also don't punch. So that says you do not have to subtract the area that's in the punch circle and the area that's in the gesture circle. So that's why the 12, we did not have to subtract any of these. And for this one, they punch and gesture but don't curse. So that's why this one, we did not have to subtract the 3 because we did not curse. But out of these, for instance, 18 people curse. Out of these 18 people that curse, they may also punch and they may also gesture. So that's why the entire curse circle has to make 18, and that's why we did have to do the subtraction. So the key to answering these questions is reading each section carefully to know whether or not you need to subtract or whether you don't. So if you have any questions, make a note and ask your teacher the next day. Thank you.